Money making and bank building is an essential skill in RuneScape. And when you're on a fresh level 3 account, it can be very hard to build your starter cash stack because you don't have access to any good money makers. Well, that's what most players think. In this video, I'm going to show you my top favorite methods to build a 1 mil cash stack on a fresh level 3 account so you can set your account up for immediate success. All the moneymakers in this video are meant to be done on fresh level 3 accounts. You don't need any requirements to access these moneymakers. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and let's dive into the best no requirements moneymakers. Alright, for this first moneymaker, we're going to be heading to the Tree Gnome Stronghold. Since I'm assuming this is a brand new account, we will not have access to the RD teleport. To get to RD, the best way we're going to do this is to head to Edgeville. Now, once you get to Edgeville, make sure you have nothing in your inventory because we'll be going to the wilderness very briefly to get to Ardung. So the best way that I recommend doing this is just head to Edgeville, go to the wilderness lever with nothing in your inventory, pull the lever, and if you pull it again, you'll actually end up in RD, which is a super simple way to get to RD without needing the teleport. And if you die, it's not really a big deal since you have nothing in your inventory. From the wilderness lever, which is right here, we're just going to head directly northwest into the Tree Gnome Stronghold, and we're actually heading towards this swamp up here. I also just realized you could use a Games Necklace teleport as well, and just run all the way south and around to get to the Tree Gnome Stronghold. That would be another decent way to get here. But if you have no GP on your account, just use the wilderness lever. Now that I'm in the stronghold, I've gone to the top, left corner of the stronghold in the swamp here, and what we'll be doing is collecting these swamp toads. So for every swamp toad that you collect, you can remove the legs of the toad and turn them into toad legs, which is an ingredient in agility potions. Each toad leg is worth about 450 to 600 GP each, depending on the grand exchange price. All you need to do is walk around the swamp collecting these toads, and once you collect them all, you can just remove the legs and store them in the bank. As you can see, we've collected most of the toads on screen right now, so what I'm going to do is hop worlds to another world and collect more toads. Another pro tip here, though, is if you don't feel like hopping worlds, these other worms on the ground, they're called the king worms. They're actually worth a fair bit of GP as well. I think they're probably going for about 350 right now. Okay, 383, which is also a decent option to collect if you don't feel like hopping worlds, but I just prefer going with the toad legs as it seems to be a little bit more profitable. We have a full inventory of toad legs. As you can see, that is worth 12.6k, so really some decent money on a fresh level 3. And the nice thing is you can just repeat this moneymaker by running to the bank. The bank is super close by. All you have to do is run out of the swamp to the east and come to this main tree in the middle. There is a bank on the second floor, which I can show you right now. You'll just need to run up this ramp. You'll see the main tree in the middle. We've gone up to the second floor, and then we're just going to head west. You'll see the pole booth here, and then the bank as well. Collecting toad legs is a great moneymaker, and once you get the hang of it, you can expect to make around 400k an hour just collecting and selling toad legs. Now, keep in mind that toad legs are tied to the agility potion price, so if the agility potion price spikes, you can sometimes get double the price for the toad legs, making this around 700 to 800k an hour when that price doubles. Doesn't happen super often, but you can expect it about once or twice a month where those toad legs shoot up in price to 700 GP or so. So it's up to you if you want to hold the toad legs until that happens or just sell them for around 400 GP each. Regardless, this is a really great moneymaker, one of my top recommended for fresh accounts, especially players who are new to the game that really don't understand the full scope of what OSRS has to offer. This is a really great way to get some starter cash. While we're here in the Tree Gnome Stronghold, I want to show you my second favorite moneymaker on brand new accounts, and that is going to be buying fashion items and selling them back to the Grand Exchange. For this moneymaker, you'll just need a little bit of starting GP. If you have 100k, great. If you have 50k, that'll probably work as well. You'll just need to make more trips to the Grand Exchange. On the second floor of the Gnome Stronghold, head northeast up to Remedy. He's the one that actually sells the fashion items. You'll see we have a bunch of different options of these kind of robe-looking clothes. The key to this moneymaker is to use the wiki page related to the prices of Remedy's shop. So what you can do is actually look at which items are most expensive on the Grand Exchange and focus on buying those items specifically. I'll leave a link in the description below to where you can find this page, but it's super simple. All you need to do is click GE price and sort by most expensive first, going all the way down. As you can see right now, the best ROI we're going to get is on the green robe tops, the pink boots, and the cream hats, as well as the blue boots, cream boots, but we'll start with what is the most profitable. You can see on the wiki page that the green robe tops are being sold by Remedy at 180 GP each, but you can sell them on the Grand Exchange for 1,350, so we're netting about 1.1k profit for every green robe top that we buy, which sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and buy one, and you'll notice that the price does go up slightly, but we're still in a profitable margin, so we're just going to buy all of these green robe tops. We have 5 in the inventory right now. What I'll do next is actually hop worlds. You don't have to hop worlds here. It's just what I prefer doing to get the most money possible, but you can just focus on buying another item that's worth like 1.1k on the Grand Exchange. Like for example, another one we could buy easily is the pink boots. Those are almost as profitable as the green robe tops, or we could buy the cream hats, the blue boots first, and we'll just keep doing this and hop worlds as frequently as we can and buy out the stock of the green robe tops. From there, I'll actually start buying out other items as well, just to show you how profitable all of these different items can be. Another pro tip with this moneymaker is I wouldn't focus on buying all your stock on the most profitable item alone, just because these items are not traded extremely frequently on the Grand Exchange. You kind of want to balance out what items you're buying so you're not oversupplying one market and crashing the price. So in this inventory, we bought all green robe tops, but the next one, I might buy a bunch of pink boots and try and sell those off as well. But anyway, you can run to the other side of the Tree Gnome Stronghold and just bank all of these fashion items. It makes this moneymaker super simple, and you'll notice we only spent 5k filling up our inventory. All of the green robe tops that we purchased are worth 36k, and we spent about 5k filling up our inventory with them, so that is a 31k profit for every single inventory that we fill out. This moneymaker is a little bit less consistent just due to the overall volume that these items trade on the Grand Exchange, but I've seen players make up to 700 to 800k an hour just abusing this, so definitely look into it if you're on a new account. For this next moneymaker, we're going to be heading to Catherby, so all you need is a teleport to get to Catherby, which I recommend using a Camelot teleport and running east from there, which we'll do in this video. You'll also need a little bit of starting cash as well. 1k is enough, but 10k is preferable. So let's head to Catherby. In this one, we're going to be collecting spades. Spade collecting is actually a really good moneymaker. You can buy spades for about 3 GP from the gardener and sell them back for around 150 GP on the exchange, but what you don't realize is how fast you can actually collect these spades. So you'll arrive in Catherby and just go to North Catherby where the farming patch is, and you'll see the farming shop with an NPC named Vanessa. If you trade Vanessa, you'll see that she has a stock of spades, and you can buy a spade for 3 GP each. From there, you can just set your right click option by shift right clicking and swapping your left click option to buy 50. All you need to do is literally left click once, and it will fill your entire inventory with spades. Once you have an inventory full of spades, you just run over to the tool leprechaun who's right next to the farming patch. All you need to do is click store all spades. Once you do that, you'll see that the spades are now stored in the equipment store, and you can change your left click option here as well to set banknotes. I've already done it so you can't see it, but you can see right here, banknotes spades. You click that, boom, all of your spades are noted. You can run back to Vanessa, buy more spades, and do the same exact thing again. You can see right now that I already have 8k worth of spades, and we've spent about 200 GP or so into buying these spades, so the ROI is huge. Now during this method, once you get 100 spades noted in your inventory, you'll notice that he actually won't store more than 100 spades at a time, so you will only be able to note 100 spades. Now the way to get around this is actually dropping the spades on the ground, noting the rest that you have in your inventory, and then picking back up the noted spades off the ground to stack them. That is one way you could get around this, but in my opinion, once I get 100 spades, I just run down to the bank because the bank is right next to everything in Catherby, and I just find it a lot easier and a lot less sweaty to do it this way. So I'll deposit all my spades, I'll go back and repeat the process. And doing this method, you can expect to get about 400k an hour if you are very focused, and spades are around 150 GP each. If you bank them manually like I did, you might get around 350k an hour, a little bit less, but but definitely a lot less click intensive to do it that way. I really like this moneymaker. It is super easy to get to from a fresh level 3 account. You just need 500 GP for a Camelot teleport and a little bit of starting cash. Super simple, easy way to build your first 300 to 400k. For this next money maker, we're going to be collecting an item called Ale Yeast, which you'll need about 10k to start with, and you'll also need to start the Giant Dwarf quest. Now, this quest has no requirements to start, but to start this quest, you must head to Relica. Relica is in the northern part of Gielinor. You'll need to actually run up from Camelot if you have that teleport. So just teleport to Camelot, run north. It's going to take a little bit of time, but once you get to Kelgarim, you'll be able to access this moneymaker. Once you're in Kelgarim, you're going to head to the east side of Kelgarim to this brewery looking place. You'll head upstairs, and that is where we're going to be collecting the Ale Yeast. Now, Ale Yeast is an item that is used in brewing different beers, which give different benefits in the game. To start brewing, you need something called Ale Yeast. So to get Ale Yeast, you can talk to Bland Beer here, use option 4, and ask if he has any spare Ale Yeast. I actually forgot in this moneymaker, you need empty pots. So we're going to head back to the bank and grab some empty pots. Also, if you can, I highly recommend a Ring of Wealth, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay, we're back at Bland Beer. Now we have the empty pots in our inventory. We'll ask him if he has any spare Ale Yeast, and for 25 GP each, we'll actually go ahead and fill up a pot. I'm going to see how long it takes to fill up an inventory. All right, it takes about 1 minute and 40 seconds to fill up your inventory with Ale Yeast, and you'll notice that Ale Yeast is worth about 1.1k each, so a full inventory is worth about 30k. Once you fill up your inventory, go to your equipment and use the Ring of Wealth teleport and go to the Grand Exchange. Now, if you have the medium diaries unlocked, you can just use a Varrock teleport here, but considering this is a brand new account, we're going to assume that you don't have that and you'll need to use a Ring of Wealth teleport. Once you use that teleport, you can run to the west side of the Grand Exchange to go back to Kelgarim once you've started the quest. You just travel with the trapdoor on the west side, and this takes you right back to where Bland Beer is selling the ales. So it's actually very easy to bank with this method, very painless. The only tricky part is actually buying the ales, as that is relatively click intensive. Basically, you're going to rinse and repeat this process, filling up your inventory with Ale Yeast. One thing to keep in mind with this moneymaker is that Ale Yeast has a very low trade volume on the Grand Exchange. You will be able to sell them for 1.1k each, but it will take a long time. And I'm talking about like 2-3 days of selling on the Grand Exchange, so just be aware of that. Collecting Ale Yeast will make you about 600k an hour. If you're very efficient, you might be able to get 700k, but I would say 600k an hour is pretty realistic. So definitely a very strong moneymaker. Our next two moneymakers will be in the wilderness, and for this first moneymaker, you're going to need a couple of things. First of all, you'll need a looting bag, so you can get a looting bag from the Grand Exchange. You can actually buy one. It'll cost you about 35k. If you don't have a looting bag, you're level 3 and you'd like to get one, you can head to here in the wilderness. This place has a bunch of rats. You can kill rats and easily get a looting bag. Feel free to check the wiki out if you want more info on this. But you'll need a looting bag, an anti-dragon shield. You'll also need a glory as well, or any level 30 teleport, as well as a little bit of food. That would be helpful. The looting bag is basically essential because it's going to double our inventory size, which makes two methods that we're going to show a lot more profitable. So once you're in the wilderness, you're going to head to level 43. The easiest way to get here is using the wilderness lever from Edgeville, running up and running through the web, then running south all the way down to the lava dragons here at level 43 wilderness. There is a very good collectible item in here that we want to get our hands on. Now that I'm in the lava dragon pit, I run to the east side, which actually has a safe spot, and you'll notice these white berries. Now, white berries are a very in-demand item. They're used in a lot of potions, and they're worth a fair bit of money. Each white berry that you pick up is worth about 875 GP, and they spawn very, very quickly. So what you want to do is just fill up your entire inventory with white berries, and then you teleport out, go to the bank, and repeat the process. You just want to be careful to stay away from the lava dragons as much as possible. The anti-dragon shield will help you avoid damage, but this is a tricky spot to get to. Sometimes you will get one hit by the dragons and get eliminated immediately. Another way you can avoid that though is to have a higher level player actually tank the dragon attacks for you so you can run in safely. I I just finished filling up my inventory completely of white berries, the looting bag as well. It took me exactly 3 minutes and 30 seconds to do that. Now what I'm doing is just running to level 30 wilderness so I can teleport out. You can also use the wilderness lever, but I just find it easier to teleport to Edgeville using the glory, banking everything, and then continuing on from there. A full inventory of white berries is worth about 25k, so looting bag included, you're making about 50k for every single inventory that you bank. It'll take about 5 minutes total for you to fill up your looting bag, bring it back to the bank, and then get back to the lava dragons. I will conservatively estimate that you can make about 700k an hour doing this moneymaker as long as you're efficient with your banking and you don't get PK'd. If you get PK'd once or twice, maybe you're landing around 600k an hour. Really good moneymaker for fresh accounts. I lied, this next moneymaker will not be in the wilderness, and it is going to be Fletching Headless arrows. For this moneymaker, you'll just need a little bit of starting cash. I think I spent about 7 or 8k getting the supplies here. And the nice thing about this moneymaker is you don't need a huge starting stack because you can just sell this back on the Grand Exchange and then rinse and repeat. But all you need to do is fletch headless arrows by using the feathers on the arrow shafts and just make sets of 10 at a time. This is a really good moneymaker because other players who want to train fletching, they need these headless arrows to be able to make their actual fletching items. Clearly, I know a lot about the fletching skill here, but basically they end up needing these headless arrows to train. So they'll spend extra money to save time, and you're basically providing that value to them up front. And for doing so, you'll actually make some GP. You'll notice that headless arrows each sell for 10 GP, and I think we spent 3 GP on the feathers and 1 GP on the arrow shafts, so that's a 6 GP profit for every single arrow that we fletch. This is a super simple bank standing method. You can switch some other methods in here like flipping as well to increase your profit per hour, and we have tons of guides for flipping on the channel, so if you're just getting into flipping and you want to learn how to do it, be sure to check out my guides I have available. I have a ton of beginner content. Anyway, this method will make you about 250k an hour as long as you have enough supplies and you don't have to stop halfway to buy more, which is actually very good considering all you need is a little bit of starting cash and you can do this while bank standing. In this next moneymaker, we're going to be heading to Zaya. The easiest way to get to Zaya is to first go to Draenor Village and then run over west to Port Sarum. There will be a guy named Veos here. Just tell him that you want to go to Port Piscalerius. Once you get there, we're going to run straight west to the Slayer Cave. Once you get off the dock, like I said, just run directly west to the Slayer Cave. The Catacombs of Korend are right in the middle of this little town, and that's where the big money's at. Once you arrive in the town center, you're going to see this statue. If you click Investigate Statue, it will actually bring you down into the Catacombs. Once you are down in the Catacombs, all you need to do is run north and then east to where the Necreals are. And don't worry, none of these mobs down here will attack you because you will not be on a Slayer task. Once you get here, stand in between the two groups of Necreals, and you'll need to hop worlds a couple of times just to find someone or 2 people killing the Necreals. We're going to be picking up the rune drops that these players do not pick up, and the reason that is because they try to stay longer to extend their trips to increase their Slayer XP per hour. Now, all you need to do is stand in the middle and start looting items that they do not want. So you already see that there is a rune square shield on the ground, which we can pick up. There's a rune axe over here, which this player does not want. You can actually just grab them and run away. The only reason I got attacked is because I actually accidentally clicked attack, I think. Look, you'll already see a rune chain body again on the ground. The reason the players don't pick this up is because they don't have enough inventory space. They don't want to carry it. They rather just finish their task. So you definitely want to pick up stackable items like death runes, but definitely pick up rune items. Those are going to be worth the most here. Super simple AFK moneymaker. Just stand in the middle, collect all the good items that you see, and then once you're done, you can use a Ring of Dueling or even a Glory just to head to the bank and rinse and repeat. I don't know the exact profit per hour using this method, but you can see it's pretty good. I've been sitting here for literally a minute and 30 seconds, and I already have 73k. This is obviously a little bit luck dependent, but it is a great moneymaker. That is it for today's video. Guys, these are the simplest, most straightforward moneymakers I know that you can abuse on a new, fresh account to make bank. This will easily help you get your first 1 million GP and make your account set up for success. If you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to drop a like. Let me know in the comment section below what moneymaker I missed. There is a lot of good ones out there, but these are my personal favorites. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.